They said the city was alive. Not in a poetic, dreamy way, but literally. No one believed the rumors at first. Who would? Concrete doesn't breathe, streetlights don't blink like eyes, and the subways rumble. It's not a growl, or is it? But that was before the children vanished. It started with Rahul, 14, ran away after a fight with his parents. He never came back. They searched everywhere, alleys, stations, rooftops. Nothing. Then Anya, 12, her bicycle was found on Ring Road, wheels still spinning. No witnesses, no sound, gone. By the 6th disappearance, people stopped sending their children to school. By the 10th, they stopped asking questions. The city's taking them, said old Nasir, the tea seller near Lajpat Chowk. His eyes were glassy, like he'd seen too much, and told too little. People called him mad, but not out loud. No one wanted to upset the city. Because the city, they said, listened. Dave, a freelance journalist, didn't believe in ghost stories. He believed in data, in facts. But facts were getting harder to find. Police reports vanished. CCTV footage gone. Entire records erased. As if someone, or something, was wiping the trail clean. So Dave went hunting. He carried an old DSLR, a pocket mic, and a cheap voice recorder that crackled like ghosts whispering through static. He interviewed parents, shopkeepers, security guards. He gathered more silence than words. Fear hung heavy, like smoke. Then, one night, while reviewing audio clips, something strange occurred. A faint whisper, hungry. Dave froze, rewound, hungry. It wasn't from the interview. It wasn't his voice. It was underneath, like the city itself had spoken through the recording. He didn't sleep that night. There was one place no one dared to go after dark, Sector 9. Abandoned, cursed, rotting. The buildings were half built, half dead. Rebar bones jutted out like claws. People said the shadows moved, even when the moon didn't. Dave went anyway. He walked slowly, flashlight in hand, heart thudding like war drums. The air, thick, heavy, like breathing in someone else's breath. And then, he saw it. A figure, small, still, standing at the edge of a broken balcony on the 3rd floor. Hello, Dave called out. No response. He climbed, carefully, cautiously. The higher he went, the colder it became. Not cold, empty, as if warmth had never existed there. He reached the balcony, and found a child. Eyes dark, skin grayish, face empty of emotion. Are you, Rahul? Dave whispered. The boy blinked, slowly, and then he smiled. Not the smile of a child, but something else. Something older, hungrier. Dave stumbled back. And the building groaned. He looked around. The walls, they were bleeding. Black sludge oozed from the cracks. The ground trembled. The city was waking up. He ran, down the stairs, across the courtyard, past rusted gates. Behind him, buildings pulsed, like a heartbeat. Dave didn't stop. Not once. Not until he was home, sweating, shaking, alive. That night, he uploaded everything. But the next morning, it was gone. Not deleted, not corrupted, just gone, like it had never existed at all. His mic, broken. His recorder, melted. His camera, empty. Only one file remained. A photo, the boy, on the balcony, smiling. But now, his eyes glowed. Dave left the city. He never wrote the article. Never spoke of it again. Now he lives far away, by the sea, in a quiet village where the buildings don't whisper. And children still play without disappearing. But sometimes, when the wind is just right, he hears it again, that voice, hungry. And far away, deep in the city that pretends to sleep. In alleys that breathe, in tunnels that blink, a new name is whispered. Yours. Thank you for taking the time to read my story. Your support means a lot to me. If you enjoyed it, I'd truly appreciate it if you could like, share, and subscribe to help spread the word. Every share helps bring more stories to life. Stay tuned for more, and thank you for being a part of this journey.